Hey you guys, it's time for This Week at We Buy Houses. I'm Deb Horn. My guest today is Kai Johnson. Kai is with the Fast Home Offer side of our business, and we'll be talking to Kai and getting to know a little bit about him. And you guys, if you've watched any of our other videos, you may know Kai. He did our Wholesale Accelerator series. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
It was a while back. It was
I think over 1,000 people or so have watched at least the first one, and then we hid the second and third one. So if you guys haven't, if you have any interest in wholesaling, we do have this cool 3-video series and sample contracts and all that. And we've been giving that away for a few years just as a gift a lot to help people out and they're getting started in real estate investing. And there's a lot of pros that kind of added wholesaling and said, how do you do that wholesaling thing? I've just been doing buy, fix, flip. So it's not just beginners that we've taught over the years, but that's kind of a part of our background. But Kai, you've been you were a wholesaler for a number of years, right?
Did a lot of wholesaling before I came over to Fast Home Offer. 5-year anniversary last week.
Oh, really?
Fast Home Offer, so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Very cool, very cool. So good to be here.
Yeah.
And talk about Fast Home Offer with you guys.
Yeah. You also, I don't know if people realize that you did spend some time with Sherman Bridge, which is a hard money lender.
So, hard money lender. So I got some experience in the financial aspect of it, helping people talk about leverage and utilizing other people's money to obviously increase their return on investment and do more deals.
Right. So Kai knows a little bit about real estate investing and has been in our business for a while. I wanted to kind of set up this conversation, and you're here today so people can learn about Fast Home Offer and how it might complement their We Buy Houses business, or even if you're not a We Buy Houses licensee, you can purchase the Fast Home Offer lead. So really this offer is open to anyone who might be watching the video who's not today a Fast Home Offer client. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of history on this. Fast Home Offer is actually our oldest business. I work exclusively on the We Buy Houses side. Mike and I do, and then and Josh and Tong and that crew. And then Kai works exclusively on the Fast Home Offer side with Larry and Melissa and so that crew. And so some people have been a little bit confused over time about what is Fast Home Offer, versus We Buy Houses, and I wanted to kind of simplify that and then have you kind of go into more detail about Fast Home Offer. But Jeremy started Fast Home Offer, I think it was about 14 years ago. Was it like 03, 04, something like that? And really came out, he started doing real estate investing, started doing Google AdWords, which wasn't very targeted at that time. And he started getting leads all over the country, realized he could sell them, and kind of the rest is history. Now, we're going to talk about there's more than just AdWords that fuels Fast Home Offer, so we'll talk about that a little bit today, these many years later. But the other thing I'll tell you guys that are We Buy Houses licensees is that it was Fast Home Offer that allowed us to acquire the We Buy Houses assets at the end of 2012. Fast Home Offer is a very scalable, more of a technology-centric business, and has generated good revenues over the years, and that allowed Jeremy to make the investment and purchase the We Buy Houses assets. And then so we launched We Buy Houses in 2013, February, and the rest is history there. So the two have kind of their past is tied together in a very tight way. Both businesses run under Jeremy's oversight. Right. So that's kind of how we came to be, but I still want people to understand what they are. Fast Home Offer is about purchasing leads, and I'm going to let you talk more about that, where We Buy Houses is a brand system that people license to use that brand and the phone and web systems in their market exclusively. So very different things. And as we said before, you don't have to be a We Buy Houses guy to be a Fast Home Offer guy. However, many of the We Buy Houses guys use the Fast Home Offer leads also in their market. So that's kind of the historical side. I'm sorry you had to sit through all that. I now want you to kind of, let's just talk about Where do these leads come from? How do the fast home offer leads get generated?
Sure. Well, I think first of all, we do get a lot of questions as to what are the differences between Fast Home Offer and WeBuyHouses.com, and you kind of touched on it. I tell people WeBuyHouses is about being part of a national brand, right? And then Fast Home Offer is about connecting with home sellers. I mean, they both complement each other very well. We've got a lot of clients that partake in both.
Yeah.
But a lot of people ask, what is the difference? I think there is still some confusion as to what are the benefits of each and how do they kind of come together to be a total solution for folks. But I think Fast Home Offer is really unique in that it's focused entirely on connecting with motivated home sellers, which we define as someone who really needs to sell their house, and time is more important than money. So, and that typically, means that these people they're looking for a solution, they're looking to sell quickly, and they're also usually driven by some type of life circumstance in their life, whether maybe it's a divorce, or they inherited a property, or they need to move out of town, or maybe the property is just distressed, have too many repairs. So that's what we're targeting with our marketing. So really, us, you, and all your competition in whatever market you're competing in, we're all going after the exact same type of seller. And I think the goal of a real estate professional is how do I get those sellers contacting me and not my competition? And that's where we can really help our clients out, because ultimately we are an extension of their marketing team, and we're competing on their behalf, and against all their competition in their market, all the other big players that are there.
Yeah.
So, so if people are looking to connect with more sellers, I think we are an awesome solution for a lot of folks. And when we're typically a good fit for people that are full-time real estate professionals, someone that's good at solving problems, and probably they should be spending at least probably on low end $1,500 a month on marketing already. I think those are typically a good fit for Fast Home Offer. Now we do have people that are newer to real estate, they haven't spent money before, and we can help those people out as well. But most of our clients are full-time real estate professionals. They're treating it as a business. They're already spending money.
Yeah. So it's not just real estate investors. Some of your clients are real estate agents and brokers?
Yeah, we don't distinguish between an investor or an agent. I think a lot of our top folks are probably that hybrid investor/agent. We have people that are just brokers and agents. Some are just investors. A lot of them are both. But we don't distinguish one or the other to us and to the sellers. Our goal is to take highly motivated sellers that have proactively seen our message, they've reached out to us, and then connect them with some of the top real estate professionals in their market.
Now, the messages that Fast Home Offer uses in the marketing, they're the same messages that we use on the We Buy Houses side, in that it is a motivated seller message, right?
That's
versus
right.
just a do you want to sell your house kind of message, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're not attracting. We're not focused on finding people that are looking to see what their house is worth. They're not just looking for values, like I said, or that's I guess what it's worth, or they're looking to sell quickly. And that's if they want to see what it's worth, they could probably go to Zillow or Trulia or one of those probably numerous other sources to find that out. But that's not what we're targeting with our marketing.
Yeah. Good. That's important, because the lead's valuable, like you said, to a wide range of real estate professionals. But if you are a real estate investor, it's a high quality lead source for that motivated seller, because the marketing is really dialed in on that message of need to sell, fast, need cash, sell as is, that kind of message.
Exactly. And we're, we do a lot of different types of marketing. We have probably 50 plus sources that are out there. So we're more than a lot of people. I think we're just pay-per-click, and we're a lot more than that. And, there's obviously that's probably a big portion of what we do. The AdWords, the pay-per-click, all the paid advertising. But we're also attracting sellers that are seeing our message offline somewhere, or through SEO and some other online searches that are out there. So we're attracting people from a lot of different sources. So I think people do get hung up on especially if they're using if they're outsourcing their pay-per-click to somebody else, and they hear about us and they think, well, am I going to be competing against myself? So there's a lot of questions that are around that, but they get a lot more exposure, I think, than just pay-per-click from from Fast
And
Home
you
Offer.
guys have ads in all the yellow pages, right?
We do, yeah. So there's, you could most markets throughout the country, you could look in your local Yellow Book or Yellow Pages and probably see our ad. Most of the time, it's an ad that will say, as seen on TV, as seen on Fox News, CNN, something like that. It might not say Fast Home Offer, but we still have a lot of advertising that's out there. It's not necessarily branded Fast Home Offer.
Yeah, right. It's not so much about the brand as it's about the message and the sophistication of the marketing that goes behind it. It seems like a lot of the We Buy Houses guys, if they didn't know about Fast Home Offer, before, sometimes they see it in AdWords. So we run AdWords accounts for our guys, and we have an agency that manages those accounts. And so a couple times I've had guys say, "Hey, I see Fast Home Offer there too. There's We Buy Houses ad. There's Fast Home Offer." And they might perceive that as like competition.
Right.
I don't really see it that way, but is it competition? Is Fast Home Offer? Do you think it's competing with We Buy Houses, or do you think it's complementary?
Yeah, we do get a lot of questions. I think, and that's something we should talk about. I mean, from my perspective, I think the more marketing someone can do, the more opportunities you're going to get. So it's maybe the fishing analogy. If you have you're going to catch more fish with probably 5 hooks in the water than with just 1 hook.
Right.
I think same with marketing. Even if if you're using an ad company to do pay-per-click or you're outsourcing that to somebody else, I think it behooves you to also get leads from Fast Home Offer. I mean, we have, I think, and you can maybe talk about kind of the difference and maybe what you could get from Fast Home Offer as far as the number of keyword searches and just, it's taken us 14, 15 years, and we've really mastered that art and skill of targeting that motivated seller. And so we are experts in that, that pay per lead in that niche, in that marketing space. And we've got tons of experience on and a lot of time and effort's gone into developing, what we do.
Yeah. Well, I would say a couple of things about that, because I think this is one of the things that is almost a perceived issue, that when you understand better, it's not an issue at all. And that, one thing I point out to people is we had Travis Schur in Las Vegas. I remember when he discovered Fast Home Offer. He's been with us for several years now, and he was like, "Hey, wait a minute! You mean I can get those leads, because it's really well positioned in search? I see it all the time."
Right.
And so he was excited because he could get, like you said, two lines, 2 hooks in the water, and not just one. And he actually bought Fast Home Offer leads, and I think it was a Home Buyer, House Buyer Network or somebody. There was some third one. He bought them, and at one point he sent me a screen print where he said, "All 3 at the top are me."
Right.
And so it was really for him about saying, "Look, I don't. People aren't going to fill out one form. They're probably going to fill out 2 or 3 forms. I'd like to be at the end of the line on as many of those funnels as possible." And so there was definitely now over time in the last few years, I've seen it that our licensees benefit from doing both. And it's because of that some people will click on one ad and not another, or some people will fill out the top 2 or 3. And it really just almost doubles your chance of being in the hunt. The other thing that I often point out to our guys is, if we paused Fast Home Offer, my joke is sometimes, do you think they would just have an empty spot there in AdWords?
Right.
And they're quick to say, "Oh no, of course not."
Right.
So another ad would pop. Oh, well, the reality is the Fast Home Offer appearing in the ads doesn't really change your bid for the keywords or anything in any measurable way. So if Fast Home Offer wasn't there, we would lose that opportunity to hand you that second, opportunity, that second bite at that apple of the motivated seller. So I think, and then the third thing I would say, and you kind of hit on it, is our average AdWords campaign for We Buy Houses, we use about 500 to 600 keyword combinations.
Okay.
In Fast Home Offer, the keyword combinations go into the thousands, I believe, and so in AdWords we call that long tail keywords. Where We Buy Houses might be advertising on Sell My House Fast, where you guys might be on Sell My House Fast in Cincinnati, or some other, these combinations that are longer tail keywords. And that means that beyond those top 500 or 600 phrases where we match well with We Buy Houses, there are literally thousands of other ways somebody might construct a search. Fast Home Offer, simply because of its sophistication, will appear in more search results than any individual AdWords campaign out there that I'm aware of. Because this AdWords campaign's been running for a decade, more than a decade.
Right.
It probably spends $1 million a year, so just nationally. So,
Right. And I think a lot of people will common I'll get is if I use both, am I competing against myself? That's what do you think when someone would say that? I mean, am I competing against myself?
Well, one thing I would say is they rarely seem to get the same lead. Now it does happen, and in that case, you kind of shut somebody else out of that lead. So there's a benefit to getting the same lead twice through Fast Home Offer and We Buy Houses. But I don't hear about it happening that often. And I really think that, there's just so many different combinations of terms that mostly we're getting net new leads that we wouldn't have gotten. Right. And so I think everybody should look at doing Fast Home Offer and finding out. Now, the one thing that's a little different, I think we should explain. So over in We Buy Houses, you're running your own AdWords campaign and doing your own direct mail, and if you want to be in the Yellow Pages, you place that ad. You do all that stuff yourself. Over in this world, you guys generate these leads through a variety of sources. But let's talk about how they're priced, because I have a recommendation to our guys, but it really has to do with the price of these leads in their market. So how are these leads priced for guys?
Yeah,
how do they buy them?
Yeah, everyone's wants to know about price, and really the price is ultimately set by the local market. Determines the value of an opportunity. So that means that our clients, they determine what they want to pay. They set their price, their budget, but it really comes down to a couple things. How much money are you looking to make? How many home sellers can you handle every month? And what type of budget are you working with? And based on those factors, we can, myself or Larry or Jeremy or Melissa, we can say, hey, we think you need to be at X price per lead to achieve the goals you're looking to achieve as far as volume. So I mean, we have some people paying upwards of close to $1,000 a lead. On the lower end, we have people paying maybe a couple $100 a lead. So it really depends on the market. And obviously, we're only as competitive in the market as our clients enable us to be. Meaning, the more they're paying per lead, the larger their budget, the harder we can push with marketing and advertising. The harder we push, the more competitive we are. The more competitive we are, the more leads we generate. That person who's getting those opportunities, if we're getting more opportunities, they're probably making more money. So, I mean, it all comes around, but the price is set by the local market, and it can fluctuate and vary daily, monthly, weekly, depending on what their local competition is doing, which we can't control. So, I mean, in a lot of large markets, I mean, there's people, I would assume, spending $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 a month on marketing and advertising, and we're competing against those folks. So if it, like I said, we're only as competitive as our clients enable us to be.
Yeah. So I think this was a good introduction to it, and where I was going to go, my comment about price is that, in some cases, when we run AdWords for our guys, it can end up costing the cost per conversion can be anywhere from $200, $400, $600. Rarely do we see a cost per conversion in AdWords say below 100 or below even 150. So just if you aren't doing AdWords, just understand to get a form filled out in most markets is a couple $100, and in some markets is $600.
Well, I think a lot of people don't really understand what it really costs to compete.
They really, if they haven't been doing it, they don't.
They haven't been doing it. A lot of people have no idea, and when they find out, like, wow, that's, that's why I said unless someone is probably at least spending several $1,000s a month, they're probably not doing very many deals because they're not getting.
And anyone that's been doing direct mail, several thousand of direct mail or several thousand in an AdWords account, they understand what that leads cost
Right.
this much. And so when they talk to you guys, many times they're like, wow, that's a great deal because it would cost me more to generate that opportunity than it costs Fast Home Offer. And part of the deal is Fast Home Offers is a very sophisticated model, a very sophisticated system that's been fine-tuned.
Right.
It exists across multiple media, online and offline. I mentioned Yellow Pages because, older people still use Yellow Pages.
Yeah, we get a lot of great opportunities from the Yellow
Those
Pages.
calls go to a call center where it's filled out and it comes to you just like they'd completed a form, but now you've captured somebody that wasn't even going to be on Google, right?
Yeah.
And anybody that's in our business knows that is an attractive market segment for us. Is the older individual or couple who's moving out of the house or downsizing or whatever, and maybe hasn't kept the house up or updated it, that kind of thing. So it's a good correlation of how you look at where is this motivated seller, and
Right.
Fast Home Offer has a lot of ways to get you connected with that motivated seller. So.
Other thing that I see too, just based on my experience being here and talking to hundreds of folks throughout the country, that there's very few people I think that could go into their local market and probably generate more leads, more quality leads, more consistently for less than what they could probably get from us.
Yeah.
Even if it's $500 or $600 a lead. I mean, if they're in Los Angeles County or some big market, it may cost them way more than whatever it would cost to get from us, and they have to figure out that on their own. I mean, with us, it's a passive, steady stream of opportunities until they tell us otherwise, pretty much.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up. Is there now it's done by county? Is that right?
We do it by county. You can distresspropertyleads.com is probably the best place to learn some more and get in touch with us. So distresspropertyleads.com. Do you have will you put show notes or something like that? Okay.
We'll put it on the screen. We'll put it in the description and make sure they have that access to that link. And so if you contact us, you'll talk to either Kai or Larry or Melissa perhaps about it. But it's Kai and Larry are kind of the main guys that'll hook you up. And is there a minimum amount of money that's involved to become a client at Fast Home Offer?
I think we want to help our new clients at least get in a position to experience at least 10 opportunities as quickly as possible. So we typically fund for a minimum of 10 at a time. So if you're in a market where it's $500 to compete and see action, I think funding starting with at least $5,000. So you have an account balance to start. Then every time an opportunity comes in, it's deducted that price per lead, depending on the county that it comes from.
Cool. So now one last thing, just in case they join and say y'all didn't mention this, you can get outbid, right? So let's say you've bought 10 leads and they were $200 a piece, so $2,000 in your account, and it's being depleted, $200 a lead.
Right.
And then what happens if somebody comes and offers more for the lead?
Great question. So I kind of describe it as a free market bid-based system. It's available to anyone who's willing and able to compete for the limited number of opportunities that are out there in any given month. So the leads are exclusive. The territory is not. So that doesn't really matter if there's 1 or 10 people wanting to experience our opportunities that we're generating. That lead only goes to one person.
Yeah, good point.
So you could be in there, things are going great. You're getting X number of leads every single month, and one month you start out the month and you notice that your lead volume is cut in half, or that's a good indication that maybe you've been outbid. You can always we have tools in your client portal that people can always see where they're at, and if they're the top person or if they're being outbid. But it can happen, and that's kind of when someone has to decide, well, am I making enough money? Am I seeing the value? If someone's seeing the value and getting the return on investment that they're happy with, they'll most likely they'll increase their bid and do whatever it takes to keep those leads coming in. And people will pay whatever they're going to pay until I think they no longer see the value.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a pretty good explanation. And did we miss anything that you want to make sure that people they can call you and learn more? Fill out the form at distresspropertyleads.com.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you wanted to mention?
I don't think so. I think you really touched on it with really the difference between We Buy Houses and FHO and how they they complement each other. We're not really competing against each other. I think they're both very valuable. If you can make them both work, I think it's a great opportunity.
Well, I tell you one thing that I like about it for our guys is there's so many things that marketing can be very frustrating, and so many things that we try that work, better or not as good as we expected. And so direct mail, you send it out there and you're kind of hoping. You run TV spots, you run them, you kind of hope, and you're hoping a certain amount of activity occurs. There's risk involved there because you really don't know how many people will respond to your direct mail. You really don't know if anybody will see your TV commercial today or they're watching Netflix or something. But so in this world, when you know what you're getting and you're going to get it, you only spend money if you get a lead, and that's huge. Pretty cool. There's not many things like that.
Yeah, unlike direct mail, you may spend $2,000 on a direct mail piece. Maybe that's
one lead.
Letters. Maybe you get one lead, and that's $2,000.
Yeah,
you just spend on one lead. So with us, if you actually spend something, you get something in return, and that's a home seller that's looking to sell quickly. And if you happen to get and it's a listed or it's a wholesaler, we do credit back certain opportunities.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is that in Google, the other thing that happens to us quite often is we don't know. Google doesn't know if the person who's filling out the form, if their house is there in Las Vegas or if it's over in Kentucky, and so Google just kind of tries to figure out where the user is, or what the user's interested in, but that's not always accurate. So one of the things that happens when you run your own AdWords is you get the dreaded out-of-area lead of a lead out in the states away, and you paid for that, and congratulations, it's yours, you own it, and most of the time that's just lost, and that doesn't happen in fast home offer world because you're only getting the leads in the area that you purchased, and there's no chance of getting them out.
Exactly.
If the lead's a listed property,
actively listed on the MLS,
then you don't have to. You get
it is up to our client. They do go to their portal and they submit for a credit request, and that goes through a process. We review it obviously, and or if it's a wholesaler, maybe a mobile home.
This is the other thing. I have people all the time tell me, I'll say, oh yeah, so you got 3 conversions on AdWords yesterday, and I go, one or two of them was a wholesaler, and so a wholesaler is kind of taking that opportunity. If the wholesaler has a house, it's great, but many times they're just kind of like shopping, and they're kind of out there clicking on ads.
And there's no way to prevent those people from filling out a form.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't.
No offense to wholesalers, since we've trained about 1,000 of you guys. So I think that's it. What about a phone number? What if they just want to call you?
817-251. I gotta look. 8296. So 817-251-8296.
All right. Well, thank you for spending some time today, and I hope that was helpful. You're gonna stay here because I got a couple of things to do to wrap up today's show. But I think it was long overdue to give you guys the ability to talk a little bit more to the We Buy Houses people.
Right.
And the other thing I would say is that for you guys who are not in We Buy Houses, this is often if somebody comes to us and maybe they're not really at the point yet where it makes sense to license a territory, or we've already licensed the territory in your market, I always point them this direction and say this is a great way to get started, and it's a great to be part of this. So last 2 things I want to mention. I was showing Kai earlier. We had for Halloween we had the Spooky House contest. Josh and I were out last week. Josh was having his first. Well, Josh's girl Kelsey was having her first child, which is my first grandchild, and so we were gone and didn't even mention the Spooky House winner. So we did get. If you guys are part of the Facebook group, and you should be, you'll know what was submitted. Not as many as I would like. I'd like to see more spooky houses next year. But the winner was J.J. Clark with the head in the garden. We knew this was going to show up because they had shown us this some months ago where they went And it was a bizarre house. I'm sure Josh is showing you now the head as well as the kind of the drive-by look at that house. But we knew that one was going to show up because the people had planted doll heads in the garden after like cutting their hair. It was just weird, some weird stuff you find at these houses. And our runners up, Matt Perez and the guys down in Galveston, they had this picture of a tombstone that was discovered when they mowed the tall grass in this lot at this house. They discovered the tombstone. Matt, you guys would have won, but on the bottom of the tombstone it actually says that the body is buried in a different place. So, man, if the body had been there, that probably would have been a winner. I'm just to be honest with you. And then third, our other runner-up was Ryan Davis, who's sending this hideous picture of a bathroom that looks like it has black mold smell and all kinds of issues. And that's kind of a lot. I mean, that's that bathroom that you're seeing there. That's kind of one of the ones that that's what we see a lot when we go into some of these houses. Mm-hmm. It's just a terrible situation. Particularly around water. If there's been water, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, or something like that, and that black mold is taken home. So that was that. Matt, to JJ. We're sending you guys one of these jackets. That's why I wore the jacket today. It's in your honor. We're going to send you one of those. We'll get it out to you, and that's your prize for winning the Spooky House contest. The last thing I wanted to tell you guys about, we like to announce our new markets. We have a new market this week. Andre Cadu has joined in Macomb County, Michigan. That's Warren, Michigan, that market up there. So we'll actually be onboarding Andre this afternoon, and we're very happy to have you guys involved and to expand our footprint in Michigan. This will be our second market in Michigan. Cool. So. That's the news for this week. It went a little bit long. See, he's always going a little bit longer because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But thank you again, Kai. It was a good description of Fast Home Offer, and we hope you guys will check it out, whether you're part of We Buy Houses or not. Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. Hey, we like to end with the boom. Boom! See you guys next week. Take care.
Anyhow.